Okay, so this is my current setup for KDE Plasma. So I have my standard bar over here. I'm using a custom full screen launcher here, which I like a lot. I much prefer it. It's got nice damn widgets and stuff going with it too. I don't really use those. But yeah, so I also have tiling with, you can customize each individual layout and stuff like that. I'm using krohnkite for it. And let's see, so fetch and pipes.shell. And yeah, so it functions just like any tiling window manager. The highlighted window I have on here, I have Vim keybinds to move around. And you can change that between the DWM setup or the way that it's handled in other tiling window managers like i3. So anyway, my alt tab is this, which I think is pretty nice. I have a lot of eye candy on here, got the wobbly windows. But anyway, I was requested to do a demo of how to do this from scratch, so I'll show you how to get basically this exact same setup with rounded corners, gaps, etc. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, one other thing, and that is using this. The desktop grid in Plasma is super helpful. I love it. It's one of the best features of Plasma in my mind. Anyway, so let's get started. Okay, so what we have here is a vanilla KDE setup. Not much going on with it. It's kind of boring. It's got the annoying toolbox that everyone hates that still exists for some reason. And okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I've got a list of things I'm going to go through. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to get wallpaper. So let's get uBlock origin so I don't have to deal with the BS. I tried recording this before and ended up taking like, I don't know, 5 minutes to get the wallpaper because of spam. So anyway, I don't typically use Firefox. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's get wallpaper anime girl. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see, 20. Okay, and here's some of my wallpapers I've used before. That's hilarious. So let's see, what's adorable? If it were Christmas time, I would grab that. Let's see, that looks pretty cute. That is absolutely adorable. Yeah, so I don't really care in the slightest, so let's just grab one. That one looks fantastic. Let's see if this, yeah, there we go. Okay, so when handling wallpapers here, KDE's a little bit, it complains a bit. So I right-clicked, went to Configure Desktop or Alt-D. And so what we're going to do is add an image and go to Downloads, Anime Girl, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So we are all good now. Let's see. Scaled, keep proportions. You kind of gotta mess around with these settings depending on which images you're using. So yeah, looking good. Okay, so let's get to the stuff that isn't completely irrelevant. Okay, so we're going to make sure we have Git installed. So let's see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. So Git is already installed. And this is just a stock MX setup, and all I did was install KDE. So this is the Git we're going to pull for the script. And the reason I say do it this way instead of through the, so normally you can go to kwin scripts, and we'll be using this in a few minutes, but you'll go to kwin scripts and then get new scripts and grab krohnkite, but Plasma doesn't allow you to configure krohnkite if you do it that way, and you get an older version. So I'm going to change to temp, let's see, git clone, and that's GitHub sgon krohnkite. Okay, so let's see. It's kind of hard to see, not gonna lie. Okay, so let's see, sudo make install. I think that will work. Let's see, tsc. So I think that is, what's the name of it? It's, the damn name of that, TypeScript. Okay, so I think you just have to get the TypeScript dependency, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. Ah, damn it. Okay. Let's see, tsc. Okay, screw it. We're going to install it from the store, but you need there's 3 TypeScript dependencies you need. I can't remember what they are. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip that. We will do it through kwin scripts. Now, like I said, previously it wasn't as updated, but that might have changed. Okay, so in kwin scripts, we're going to go down to krohnkite and install. Alright, and then activate it over here. And actually we can wait on that, because what we have to do now is on the GitHub for this, they explain how to use it. So to enable configuration, you must perform the following in command line. Okay, so we're gonna make a directory and then modify something. So blah blah blah. Alright, copy and paste. Good old laziness here. Alright. Oh yeah, mx open. Alright, so let's see. So let's go ahead and reopen kwin scripts, because it doesn't update for some strange reason. And you see now we have configuration there. So let's go ahead and activate it and you'll immediately see. Okay, so now we have tiling, and we have too many windows going on here, so it's gonna complain for a few minutes. So personally, this is the list of different layouts you have. Personally, I turn off monocle, I use 3-column, and tile. That's all that I'll use. And use separate layouts for each desktop. I don't do that, although probably should. I do it when I'm using awesome, but I don't do it here. So geometry, this is going to be gaps. So we're going to do, let's do like 5 pixels. So we're going to do 5 pixels all around. And let's see, maximum tile width, blah, blah, blah. And gaps between. Okay, behavior, yes, DWM style. I'm just going to leave it on there. And these are rules for different stuff that's going on, blah, blah. Okay, so I use maximize sole windows. Let's see. Keep floating windows above tiled windows. Now, if you have issues with full screen applications, then I would come in here and mess with these, because there's something I discovered recently where it complains a lot. But it could be MX, it could be something else, it could be Chrome. So I'm not sure. But anyway, you can mess around with these if you end up having difficulties. So I'm going to hit OK now. I'm going to deactivate krohnkite, apply, reactivate, apply. Okay. Now it activates all of that stuff, and so yeah. So now we can do this, and we have to configure some hotkeys to be able to, I think the stock is this. Let's see. So here are the default keybinds. It has the Vim movement right here. And all this, etc. Let's see, meta. Okay, so yeah, this is going to cycle our layout to be whatever we want it. I'm going to keep it on tile, and yeah, so that should work. I just might have to recall what that is. Okay, so here's where things get a lot more interesting. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and minimize stuff, because we're about to be doing some configuration. Okay, so on to the nitty-gritty. Now, the KDE panel is kind of hard to deal with until you've used it a lot. So we're going to go ahead and grab some new widgets here. Right-click the desktop and go to Add Widgets. We're going to say Get New Widgets. Download new Plasma widgets. Fuck off. Okay, so let's see. The one I was using. Let's search for full. Simple menu. I actually like simple menu a lot. I'm using nav.desktop currently. There we go. Okay, so we installed nav.desktop, and that should be that. Okay. Yes, good old. Okay, sudo apt install cmatrix, and then we're gonna grab rofi, although I'm probably not going to configure it because it's kind of a pain. And there's a tornado siren going on outside my house. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so desktop configuration. This is something we're going to change. We're going to go to tweaks, turn off the annoying desktop toolbox I mentioned previously, and this needs to stay on. It's annoying to deal with without that. So let's see, all that, appearance, that looks good. Now I usually switch this to be a folder, but it's not really relevant right now. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and configure the panel. So what I'm going to do is increase its height here, and we're going to go to auto hide. Well, actually we'll do that here in a second. Panel alignment center, and you'll see why here in a moment. So let's go ahead and throw this up top. And let's see. So next we're going to hide all of this junk that they throw in. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide pretty much everything. I don't like this stuff. I did use KDE Connect previously, but I no longer do so. But yeah, so let's keep updates and YAD. Why is it not visible? Yeah, go ahead. But let's see, hidden. And this is actually the best way to do so, is to just hide everything and then leave your volume icon on there or not use it at all. Okay, so we are going to now switch out. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. So I right-clicked it and went to alternatives to make sure that your widgets are unlocked. So let's go ahead and switch to nav.desktop. And as you can see, it's hideous. Okay, and we're going to switch out the task manager. So what I do here, just to make it easier, is add widgets, task, icon only task manager, drag it to your desktop here. Now we're going to remove this. Oh yeah. So configure panel. And now we're going to select it and go to remove, or hover over it at least. Okay, so also I'm going to remove the pager. I don't really use this much. Okay, and move this over here, this back over here. And now we're going to grab this by holding it, your click down on it, and throw it over here. Cool, so now we have this. Now we're going to go to panel options once more and adjust the height to whatever you'd like it to be. Now remember, we went to more settings and we did panel alignment center. This is very important for when you're resizing this. And I could go into an explanation about resizing this toolkit, but it has a tendency to be annoying. Okay, so this bar tells it that it can be this large. So as you get more icons, it will gradually expand until it's the size of your screen. And so I'm going to make this as small as possible here. And so it just stays as small as possible. I'm also going to turn on auto hide and then change the screen edge back to the bottom here. So yeah, we've got a blank desktop here. We have a sudo launcher, plank style, and we have a full screen menu. Like I said, this is navdexy, this is icons only menu, etc. Okay, now say that you wanted the same setup that I had on my other one, where I have a volume meter over here and everything. What we're going to do is just make an empty panel, and you see it's up here. We're going to configure panel, make its height pretty big, scooch it on down, and we're going to align it right, and now we're going to move it downwards, so move it over here, and that undid everything I just did, so 1 second. Okay, so make this small and wide, and then we're going to, come on KDE, I'm trying to sell you right now, don't be glitchy. Okay, now we're going to add another widget, and hopefully we're still recording, otherwise I'm going to be raging. Okay, we are good. Okay, now we're going to add widget and do a search for volume. And there you go. So now you have a, oh, that's kind of loud, but now you have a widget for volume, and you are all set when it comes to that. So, okay, so, well, go away. Alright then. Okay, so we're going to configure this panel one more time and turn on auto hide. So now it should be all set. Alright, so what auto hide also does is makes it to where it doesn't interfere. It should anyway. Yeah, whatever. So now we're going to, let's go ahead and check my notes. And so got that. I'm not going to do pipes. So next we're going to configure screen edges. And so one thing that's pretty useful in KDE is making it to where you switch desktops by hovering on the side. And it's nice. I don't use it myself. I did previously. But anyway, what we're going to do here is remove this screen edge. And all you have to do to get to this is just search for screen edge. Okay. Now, so we're going to go to the upper right hand corner, that's what I use, and put on desktop grid. Okay. Now we're going to apply, and that's all that we have to do to have access to this. Now whenever you first open this, you'll want to make more desktops. Actually, I forgot something. So after we've done that, we're going to search for virtual desktops, and we're going to make the number of rows 2, just to keep it kind of precise. And let's see, animation slide. You can change the animation for each of these. I keep it on slide because it's nice. It's very nice. So we're going to get this out of the way and do everything over here. I'm actually going to close this because I'm not going to use it. Might do this afterwards. And so let's go back over here. Okay. So we're going to float that. Now, krohnkite's being kind of bitchy, and the way that we will fix that is by resetting the script here in a second. After you get it all configured, it shouldn't be a problem, but as it is right now, it is kind of a pain. So let's see, what is going on with you? So kwin scripts, krohnkite disable, krohnkite enable, and there we go, it's fixed, and this stuff shouldn't pop up. So whenever I come over here, it's going to pop up the panels that I needed, and yeah, so it's kind of weird that it's like that. I can fix that in a few. Okay, so let's go to desktop effects. So I'm going to do a search for this, and the easiest way to access everything is to just go to the main Plasma settings. I'm actually going to do that so that it will be easier to tell everything that I'm doing. So go to System Settings, and we're going to move this over here. Okay, so this is where we start theming and customizing everything. So what theme we're going to go to Workspace Theme, Look and Feel, Get New Looks. And one of my favorites is orange. So where is it at? Yeah, so here it is. I'm gonna install. Now I meant to do this first off because I could have used the desktop layout. So it might have some weirdness to it, but I don't think it's going to. It's gonna take it a second to install. While that's going on, let's see what I can change. Desktop behavior, desktop effects. Yeah, so we're going to go in here, and there's a lot of different features you can turn on and off. I don't like how KDE has this set up. I think it's kind of confusing, to be honest, and there's some redundancy. It should just be isolated into grids or something like that. But as it is right now, it is usable. So we're going to turn on wobbly windows, and that's basically it. We're going to hit apply, and let's make this, let's do some serious wobbling. Okay, now I'm hitting Alt, and yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that wobble. Takes a while to, whew, that is deep. Okay, and so that is all set up. So now when we move stuff around, it's gonna wobble. It's a bit too much for me, but it looks cool for now. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else I'm gonna turn on here? Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's it. So just wobbly windows, and you can customize things as you like. I'm going to go to Compositor and change the let's see. Okay, I have to do it here. Let's see. So compositor speed I turn down just because I like it to be snappier. I'm gonna leave it kind of up. If you're having issues with like tearing or anything, change your backends. I usually use OpenGL 3, but OpenGL 2 seems to be the best. I like this to be on smooth. Just because on this computer I have a decent GPU, and I'm going to restart the video because that probably broke it. Oh, I guess I can check. So yeah, I don't think it broke it, hopefully not. Alright, so let's see. So yeah, that should be installed now. Okay. So now we're going to go back to Workspace Theme. We're going to go to Orange, and we are going to hit Apply. And watch it work all of its magic. Okay, so you see it changed all of this out and made it look pretty nice. So let's go ahead and check out, let's go to this blank desktop and open some terminals. So I don't have a hotkey for terminals yet, but we will get there. Weird. Okay. So, by the way, this has live resizing on, which is kind of laggy with console right now for some reason. Could be because I'm recording. But yeah, one thing I don't like what Orange does with these minimize and stuff, but I don't actually use them. So I use hotkeys to do all of that. So the next step that we're going to do, we're going to leave that as it is, and we're going to grab this over here because we have to enable some stuff. And this is also in the Krohnkite GitHub. and it will give you information as to how to configure the borders and stuff like that. I would have to log out and log back in to do this, so configure this and it will give you the borders that I had in my first setup. Now what we can do is, let's see, enable screen focus, blah blah blah. You should definitely do all of this. And now we're going to go to the Breeze settings to fix this. So, window decorations. Now this is a weird thing because you have to switch it back to Breeze to configure it properly. Because if you go to configure orange here, you notice you have no options at all. So you have to do it through Breeze, which is fine. It does change these widgets that I was complaining about, which is not a problem, but they have to have all of these options here. So we're going to add a regex here for Windows. So let's see, it's going to be period star, hide window title bar. Okay, and I turn on borders, regex, this should be correct. Okay, window class name. Yeah, I think it's window class name, but we'll go ahead and hit OK and apply. And there we go. So we no longer have the ugly title bars and everything, but that makes us run into the situation where we cannot close anything. There's no way to do so, which if you look at my terminal screen over here, it made it way nicer looking. I don't use console. Let's see, Control-Shift-M, so hide menu bar. And so let's see if that, I guess I can use Alt F4. Okay, so Control-Shift-M, I think, yeah. Okay, let's see if it automatically does this now. If not, then, Jesus. Let's see. So typically I have a hotkey to open terminal, just because I use it a lot. One other thing that's useful, let's see if I can get to this quickly, and I will go over it. Let's see, mouse actions. Okay, never mind. Switch desktop. Always turn that off. That's gone cool. Okay. So anyway, like I said, I don't use console, but you'll end up setting the opacity here just to make it so you have a nice looking terminal. So I installed cmatrix a moment ago, and there we go. So we have that configured, and yeah, it's working all nice. So let's open a few more of these. Cool, that looks great. Okay, and as you can see, when we move stuff to other desktops, it's going to automatically tile. And so let's go to 3-column layout. Cool. Yeah, so that's working nice and spiffy. If you want the pipes shell script, you'll have to Google it. Because typically I don't have it installed except for on this, because it's just, I mean, how often are you going to use this? I never touch this. But yeah, see, why can I not cancel this? Whatever. Yeah, so this is kind of weird. It sets your master to be the middle. So neo fetch, and cool. So it looks like everything's set up, and I'm using an absolute ton of RAM right now from the screen recording, I guess. But let's see, what else do we have to do? Okay, we've got screen edges, we have the krohnkite, and one other thing is that every time you update krohnkite, you're going to have to go do that terminal command I did a moment ago. So let's go ahead and do, so that was this one. It's the make directory and then add the config directory. Okay, so let's close this out, and so we got Breeze configured. That's wonderful. Go ahead, apply. Glad that didn't break anything. GTK style. I don't like the darker GTK setup. I use an alternative, but not really sure what. The reason is because GNOME widgets get pretty, they complain a lot. So yeah. And let's see, so that looks all good. Let's see, Breeze animations, scroll bars, blah blah blah. Okay, so where was I? So hotkey setup. So if you run into the issue of your meta/Windows key not working, then what the reason that is because Plasma gets bitchy about it. So the way to fix that is to go to config launcher, whatever. Let's see. I don't want that. Yeah, so also you can change the background image of your launcher, so it's more tied up with your your layout itself. So let's see. Show all buttons, blah blah blah, transparent background, absolutely. Yeah. So the way that you fix, so you see how this is set up to be Alt F1? I have no idea why, but in Plasma, well, I mean, I do. It's because kwin gets pretty bitchy with setups, but so it needs to be on Alt plus F1 if your meta key is not working. If not, then you should be able to Google a solution. But I've run into this on two separate desktops, so it is annoying. So as you can see, we have gaps in between. I meant to say this earlier. You can set this to be whatever you want. Personally, I don't use top gaps on top, and I use wider spacing than this. I think it's 8 pixels, but it's definitely hard to say. Okay, so now we're going to set up some hotkeys so I can actually move around this desktop. Okay, you see how this looks now? It's pretty nice. You know, got the sexy anime girl with the very nice chin there and the Dutch angle. Okay, so rounded corners, I can't remember where I activated that at. You'll have to Google it. It's a script that you add on to, it's not a kwin script, it's something in the Windows. Well, let's see if I can find it real quick. So I thought it was in window decorations. Let's see, widget style. Went here a second ago. Window decorations, get new decorations. Let's see, I thought it was here. Yeah, so I don't remember what hacky way I ended up using to get it. I thought it was there, but I guess not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Window management? Window rules. If you have things that are complaining about you tiling them, which is not too common, but it does happen with some things, then... Oh, cool. Nice. God, Firefox handles full screen so well. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Unlike Chrome. But, by the way, you can configure this, but I'm using Alt plus right-click to resize windows. It's the fastest, most convenient way if you use mouse a lot. If not, if you're controlling windows with the stock keybinds, it's a lot easier to see what's going on with borders. But I'm using meta plus H and J, KL, etc. So, yeah. Okay, so let's put that back on tile. So, yeah, keybinds. So, I'm not sure where that's located in here, so we're going to kill that and look for hotkey. It's custom shortcuts. that's the wrong one. So key, global shortcuts. So you see how this is a floating window? It automatically sets system configs to be floating. The krohnkite script does. So we're going to go to kwin, and this is where you set up all of the krohnkite configuration. So what I do is I change float window to be meta plus spacebar. I much prefer it. And let's see, cycle layout. I keep that on meta. Meta X. And kill window I keep on meta S. Yeah. Okay, and so that's all. Let's see what else. So terminal. So let's see. So we're gonna add a XFCE terminal. So launch terminal. We're gonna go to global launch terminal, and I put it on meta enter. Okay, and more importantly is how I switch desktops. So switch to desktop. Control F1. Jesus, what am I, Spider-Man? Okay, so that's yeah. So I'm switching all of these to meta 1, 2, 3, 4. So I only use 4 desktops usually. I probably said that before. Ooh. Alright, apply. So now I can switch desktops very easily. So yeah, that's far better. Okay, and also I'm not going to be doing it much, so I'm not going to set it. You're going to have to be able to move windows to different desktops. You can do it through this right here, which is slower. I don't use it too much. But yeah. Also, one interesting feature that I think is absolutely wonderful is in the desktop grid mode, you can right-click something, and it will appear on all desktops. So if I go to this desktop, you see it's here. If I go to this desktop, it's here. That is super convenient if you're watching a YouTube video or something similar. So let's see how that performs, actually. So let's go to YouTube, and oh god, I clicked an Assassin's Creed video. What type of world do I live in? Okay, and we're still recording, thank god. Okay, so play, mute. Okay, so now we're going to change desktops, and as you can see, it's going to move along with us wherever we go. That is absolutely amazing. I think that's one of the best features in KDE, and I didn't know about it forever, because I don't even see other people use the desktop grid mode, which is fantastic. So, okay, so I have desktop switch, I have all that, I have terminal on command, yes. So, yeah, so I actually put the wrong keybind on meta S. You will use like kill window or whatever, but yeah. So I have that. Usually I have a hotkey to launch browser. You do that the same way. You add it over here with this plus sign. And yeah, so I'm going to unpin that. And let's see, what else can we do here? So bam. We have terminals popping up. You have this live resizing, which is great. I've noticed Awesome and i3 don't really handle resizing that well. And this seems to just be getting better as it goes on. So we've removed title bars and frames. Yeah. So that's basically it for my configuration. You have all of my setup here. It's not as pretty. So let's actually go in here and configure the panel. stretch it out a little bit. It was in my hubris that I did not set this up right. So yeah, I'd probably toss a spacer here. How the fuck do you add spacer? I can't remember. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, add spacer is over here for some reason. And where'd my spacer go? There we go. Okay, so add spacer there and resize it and leave it on flexible size because that makes it easier. And that's a nice gap there. It's not too bad. Let's see. I kind of like it to be like that. And I'm actually going to make this smaller. Let's paint a happy little bush here. Okay, so navdexy has these different buttons that, okay. So make sure you lock your panel so you get rid of that ugly little box thing over there. But navdexy has these features. It's like show desktop, present desktop is what that is. I don't use it. And show desktop, so that's cool. And of course this. So let's see. Where was I? Is there any other feature? Oh yeah, so one thing that I also use consistently is the, okay, so let's kill that. And I don't usually kill windows that way. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add another empty bar. So let's unlock widgets and add panel, empty panel. It's going to appear here on the top. We're going to add widget and add the global menu. What? Okay, it might be there. Let's see. It is not there. So I'm not sure where it went. That's one of the issues you run into. Probably went here. I don't know, I can't tell. So we're gonna drag it here and then drag it up here. Now it's definitely on that bar. Okay, so maybe this has some, no it does not. See, one thing about this global menu is it doesn't really activate with everything. So let's see if it's here. Nope, nope. So I'm not sure if Firefox has a global menu. It does not. So yeah, I actually can't show you the global menu because I'm not sure what will actually have it. So that's annoying, but that's how it goes. Anyway, that's how you get the file and all that global menu. I'll go ahead and remove this. Make sure to auto hide the panel if you would so desire afterwards. So let's see. So to remove a panel, you open up the panel configuration and remove panel. Now once again, to get rid of this toolbox here, which I think is hideous, you lock widgets with Alt-D. Okay. So cool. Let's see, is there anything else? So I will go into how to set a launcher, I suppose. So back in hotkeys, I installed rofi a minute ago. And so we're going to add rofi, which is not here. So we're going to have to, how do I do this? System settings, run command, application launchers. And I think maybe that will work. Okay, screw it. There's a way to symlink rofi so that it pops up there. There's also another way to add this, but I'm not really sure how I did it before and I don't want to troubleshoot it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and open up a terminal, and what you will use, if you use Flatpaks also like I do, is you're going to execute a command. So it should be exec, that might be i3, so we'll just do rofi show -d menu and that should work. Yeah. Okay, so here's, actually no, it's gonna be drun. Maybe not. I want to show. Let's see. drun. Rofi show drun. SD menu. Okay. Let's see, window drun, window cd, rofi. I'm gonna show. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This happens literally every time I go to mess with rofi. I always forget which uexec. But anyway, so you can set up a hotkey for a launcher like that, but you have a bunch of options. You have the full screen that I set up, and then you have run the whatever the stock KDE one is. But typically I use rofi because it's extremely lightweight. It uses like a megabyte. So yeah. Okay, so that's about that. If you'd like to change the theme or whatever, you can go through and do so. But there's not much more I can explain here. Let's see. And actually, I'm going to recommend some widgets. So unlock, add widgets. And we're just going to go straight to the store. And I will say some of the ones that I personally use a lot whenever I'm configuring something. So application title is nice if you're doing a Mac OS X setup. Let's see, split digital clock is good. Simple menu is fantastic. I actually prefer it to what we have currently. Latte separator is nice if you don't like the stock spacer in the menu. You've got simple monitor, system monitor. That one's good. You can configure this to have krohnkite if you really wanted. We could throw some widgets on the desktop itself, such as some of this stupid stuff. We could add a calculator here, hold it down, and then resize it. So I got K calculator, or whatever the fuck it's called. So have that. Let's see, what's the... Oh, nope. Okay. So system load. This one's kind of cool. It's pretty configurable if I'm not mistaken. I like it because it's just like super minimal. If you haven't noticed, I go with minimal setups with whatever I'm doing. So yeah. But yeah, so you could have a nice little setup here, add it down here, and so personally I think that KDE is pretty great because it's lightweight. In recent benchmarks it has actually been lighter weight than XFCE in RAM usage, and honestly I've not been able to run GNOME on any of my really crappy laptops like single or dual core, Atom processors. So I much prefer KDE. It's just great for so many reasons. But yeah, so let's see what this identifies as. Oops, did not mean to do that. So yeah, kwin plasma. As I showed in my other video, this also works in LXQt, and it functions exactly the same. Your kwin scripts will work, although oddly enough you can't add them unless you know what you're doing in LXQt. But yeah, so that is my tutorial on how to have this set up. And if there's any questions, just make sure to ask in the comments and make sure you subscribe and stuff. And yeah, so that's it. Oh, actually that is not it, because I forgot to explain task switcher. So task switcher is when you alt tab. What I keep it on is flip switch, I think. And because when I'm using a lot of floating windows, I think it's nice to have this. So that's what the standard flip switch looks like. If you'd like it to be like I demonstrated at the first of the window, then you change the angle here. I'm not sure what I had it on. Let's try 0. Let's go ahead and try that. Oh. Deactivate and then turn it back on. And yeah, okay, so this is similar to the flip switch I had prior. So there's no, it's not, what's it called? Anti-subtropic isometric. So we don't have the isometric view going on, which I much prefer. And let's see. I changed the duration also to make it snappier, but it seems to follow your compositor speed also. But yeah. Let's see, let's try that. Ooh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, so anyway, mess around with the configuration there. And I don't really use activities. I used them previously, but not a big fan. But yeah, so that is absolutely everything, and thank you guys so much for watching. And I will probably be doing a review on Pop OS, because check this out. The newest version of Pop is coming with a tiling window manager, which I'm super excited about. And Pop OS was kind of what sold me on Linux. I started off using Slackware, and I moved on and chose Pop OS, and I fucking loved it. Pop is fantastic. I'm not a big fan of GNOME. I don't like, I have basically never used any GNOME setups because of how just clunky it is to configure. Not that KDE is any better, but KDE just performs so much better in almost every way. So that's why I've been using it. But if Pop comes with a stock tiling manager, which it does as of today, I'm probably going to have it installed on my main system. And I know that performance has gotten better for Unity, so I think I may try it on my other laptops also. But anyway, look forward to that, and thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. I mean, look at these icons. Look at that. Look at that icon pack. That is gorgeous.